Good morning, everyone. You made it. I didn't think you were going to make it today. Uh, okay. Hi, everybody. Uh, Welcome to Doc's SPX Daily Plan. Um, Please click the like button and the subscribe or the share or whatever the social media stuff is that you kids do. Let me, there we are. Okay. And let's get right to it. So I'm going to tell you guys some of the most three levels you need to keep in mind today. Ready? 69, 60, let's call it 69, 65, 60, and where we closed yesterday. And there's a reason for that. I'll go over it briefly here, and we'll go over it in maybe excruciating detail in the Discord and intraday. I'll show you what it is. With quick explanation of why there's a big gamma void below 69, 65, 55, all the way down to 69.30. There's nothing there from a gamma point of view. Now, there might be magic lines, Fibonacci's, or I don't know, whatever it is, depth of book, whatever. But from where my edge is, it evaporates over there for now. Okay, so that's the level you got to watch. Up above us, the next level you got to watch is 69.80 for that inflection for the continuation higher or not. Those are the two levels that you're going to mark in your brain, and we'll consider 69.50 where we pulled back to just now. This guy here, round number, our intraday pivot, which you see marked over there. Intraday pivot. Okay, those are the levels. You're going to write them down and you're going to plan around them. Okay, so let me talk about this for a second, and the short version is I'm not sure what to say about it. Okay, so at 7:30, as I was typoing with lots of typo mistakes, my note this morning, I saw that as I was about to finish up, I saw this at 7:30. We had basically a 25-point drop into the abyss, right into that void that I was telling you about. I checked Twitter, I checked Grok, I checked AI, I looked at charts. I couldn't find anything. Best I could find was CVS and Coca-Cola earnings miss, that kind of bullshit, which I don't know, maybe because they're Dow components, I don't know. Maybe some kind of repositioning ahead of data, but would like everybody reposition at the exact second? I don't know. So just letting you know that I've got this little mystery that I may or may not solve. And if anybody listening has the key to that mystery, let me know. Okay, so let's get to, hold on one second. I'm going to change screens for a second. You can say good morning. I'll give them a quick update on what's going on with the Discord and with some of the new offerings while I pull up the next chart, like the 1-minute overview. I'm putting you on the spot.
I mean, you want me to just repeat what I said yesterday?
Sure.
So same thing, guys. Update is we're doing the kind of trade alerts room. So our beta traders can share their trades in that room and won't have any noise. Another thing that we're getting updated is people will have a better use of the unusual whales tool, and they'll kind of have a free stream of X tweets that have been vetted and kind of higher quality accounts in the server. We are also opening up a free kind of area to the server that will have some pretty basic and foundational educational pieces for you guys if you're not too up to speed with what Doc's doing.
Great, thank you. And that gave me enough time to pull this up. We have good stuff coming. Okay, so This is from the note, the daily plan that subscribers get. If you subscribe free to the Substack, click below or click wherever it is. I'm not sure. You can subscribe to the free Substack. There'll also be links somewhere to get into the free Discord if you're interested. Of course, upgrade to pay to get the premium content. Let's start where we are. So we closed at 65, 69.65-ish. We went up to 69.80-ish yesterday. Was pretty much standard in my book, mechanical, positive gamma grinder. It was just that kind of day. Well, we came in from the weekend into Monday still loaded with an over-VIX market, and that creates a shit all the time. Just when everybody's buying puts, although the smart money wasn't buying puts, even into the sell-off on Thursday, they weren't buying tail puts. There was out of the money call buying. Go figure, right? So anyway, here we are. There's that early tape thing I saw. So what happened yesterday? The VIX eased a little bit, 0.4. The VIX 9-day fell harder. Why do I talk about the VIX 9-day? Or why do I harp on that shit so much? Because the VIX 9-day tells us where the bets are short term. VIX 9-day goes project 9 days into the future, which is next Thursday, and then take the Friday before next Thursday, this Friday, which includes whatever numbers we have Friday, CPI. We have some of those numbers that they like. On Friday, we have the numbers, we have NFP on Wednesday. So it includes that this Friday and next Friday, and it gives us a number. So that's telling us what the market is expecting move-wise locally within the next week or so, which is what most of us are trading, I would think. Well, a lot of us are trading today. Friday is a long-term trade, let alone, or from this morning to noon is a long-term trade. So VIX 9-day gives me a good guesstimate of what's going on in the chain. Okay, so as you know, rotation is alive and well. A week ago, get rid of tech and buy value, industrials, utilities, cyclicals, whatever it was. Now, yesterday, the script flipped. There's still a lot of room left to go for tech to get back in the leadership and rotation, whatever. But we're just doing that rotation dance again, which is why I say flows over fundamentals. A week ago was, the AI narrative, whatever the story was. These have consistent earnings. Now it's a different story. It'll be a different story. Price makes headlines. Whatever the price does, we'll make up a headline to fit the price. That's what I say. Okay, so like I said, I'm treating this as the pivot area. The real downside band is below the expected move. Upside is 69.90. We'll talk about why it is. Tomorrow, we have the delayed NFP coming up. And Friday, we have the CPI. So quiet mornings can turn into headline whiplash. And also, hedges kind of like suddenly come in. You see these big trades, and all of a sudden, VIX does what it does. You see the pop. One kind of tell to see if what we're seeing is shorter term hedging versus longer term. And you'll see it everywhere. But if you see the VIX 9-day, all of a sudden pop, I'll just pick a number, 7%, and the VIX pops 2%, well, then that's short-term hedging. You look at the VVIX, volatility, and see how that's moving percentage-wise, and do the mental quantuition math, and you can see what's going on. Now, we talk about that in the room often. And so if that's the kind of thing that interests you, please give us a try. Okay, so here's the chart that I showed before. We have the earnings event, we have retail sales, employment cost, all this stuff, more retail stuff. We have these earnings before. Datadog. I've been talking about Datadog. I've been going long in the room. I've been nibbling on it. I sold puts on it. It's up 10%. Hopefully, it'll make me a smart guy. What happened at 7:30? I couldn't figure that out either. I saw it. I checked all my sources, and I couldn't figure it out. So Yeah, I just couldn't figure it out. I couldn't find anything. Okay, so I'm going to show you the options depth map quickly. And let's do it this way. Where's my thing? Okay. While we're here, let's take a quick look at this is what I was talking about. Here, this is the term structure of the volatility term structure. And the yellow is backwardation, no bueno, or weirdness, because it's supposed to be like this, like a Nike swoosh. And we have this kink over here for Friday. We have another kink. So basically the term structure is kinky. Get your minds out of the gutter. The term structure is kinky. And then things get normal or normalized in 60 days. So that's, we just kind of take a look at this and, keep that in mind and see when this kind of normalizes again. I kind of like backward dated, kinky stuff like this. Again, get your minds out of the gutter, because this creates volatility opportunities where vol is going to crush or expand. So I kind of like this stuff. Okay, so let me make sure I have the right day on. Okay, I do. This is options depth. The other thing was unusual whales. I use them both. I also use gamma labs. I also use spot gamma. I also use gamma edge. I also use tradingvolatility.net. I use a lot of tools, so you don't have to, unless you want to, of course. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, that void thing. This is probably something to keep your mind, to pencil in. Below 65, from a gamma point of view, there's not a lot until 69.30. There's just not a lot here to support us until 69.30, till down here. Big, well, not huge big, but big enough, more than 1,000 contracts right down at the bottom of the expected move. Now that could be a potential magnet on the way down. If we head down to 69.60 is another one. So, and I've seen us bounce between negative gamma numbers, even though we're not supposed to, but it happens. I'm here to tell you not what's supposed to happen. I'm here to tell you what does happen. Trader style. We talk about theory, but we talk about how to trade it. We're trying to make money, right? Not trying to be clever on theory and not make money. Okay. So the other thing, however, is these things become potential tailwinds, charm tailwinds, particularly at the end of the day, if these remain, and then these decay, and you could easily drift up along this negative gamma ladder. I like these ladders. And once you enter the ladder, you kind of climb them up. I call it chutes and ladders because you go back down. And you can get kind of pulled up right toward this 90-95 area. I don't think that happens or that we stay up there because of the data coming, but you never know. And that's the short version of it. For the detailed roadmap with, if then where you get the reactions are going to be, whatever, all that's in the and the trading view string that you just saw, all that's in the paid note with the cheat card and everything else that's in us, that is in the note. And also, let me show you one more thing. Also, in the server, we have a cheat sheet done by our very own, myself, aka Nanda, which kind of takes the daily plan and summarizes it right here. So you have everything in front of you. My brother prints it out, put it on your computer, whatever it is, and you've got everything in a little card. You got to remember. Okay. With that, I'm gonna go ahead. You're up, kid.
All right, guys. Good morning. Right here, right out the gate. Let's break out our range first. My range is going to be from 7,000 all the way down to 6,950. So about a 50-point range. As you can obviously see, my chart is a bit noisy today. Tons of levels. When I see it this way, there's two approaches right out the gate. One, expect consolidation, or two, if we have big momentum, screw everything. I'm a little bit more on the consolidation front today, and my game
Talk a little
plan.
bit more about that. I think that's important for traders to understand that when you see a lot of levels, that tells you something. That it's not just noise; it's information.
It is. It is. It's telling you that there's activity on both fronts. And if the way I kind of would envision it, if this is the middle, let me see. Yeah, if this is the middle of where we're looking at, I can see noise, equal noise to the upside, equal noise to the downside. And that tells me we're balanced. That tells me we have activity on both fronts. Shouldn't be straightforward trading, at least not with some sort of catalyst, with some sort of jump to either direction to kind of sweep those levels, is the way that I think about it.
That's a very good insight.
Right here, the way that I'm thinking about it, the last thing I'll say to that is sometimes I know a lot of you trade volume or look at volume. I'm not a huge fan of looking at volume simply because just because the market has high volume doesn't mean it's unbalanced. And if it's balanced, you're not really going to go anywhere, even with high volume. So I think that can be a slippery slope to watch that too closely. That being said, right now, ES is at 69.80, right at my pivot. Right here, I'm looking to see if we can hold this pivot at open, take some longs nice and easy to 7,000, maybe even a little higher to 726. That would be kind of my first view, hoping that we sell off from there. Hoping is different than trading, right? Trading that, right? Kind of all depends on what price action is. I'm not going to try and enforce a short by any means, but I would like to see some downside today. If we hold below the pivot, I'm going to look for a continuation down to my floor, 69.50, for a decent push up back to my pivot, a nice 30-point move there. I do think if we start to sell, my main kind of gate for today, let me see on my chart, is 70. So right around here, if we can really hold below this pivot, that tells me we're going to sell. And if we can sell, I think we have a really good move all the way down to kind of 69.40 area, 69.50. Lot of money to be made in that little range.
And that's kind of confluent where we had that void in the gamma, 69.50-ish, 655-ish is kind of the line you're talking about. Yep. And below there, from a gamma point of view, from say 60, it's pretty much a straight shot to 30, 25 below there. We have a cluster that should be support. So our gamma cluster would be, if I add 20 points ES would be around 69, 30-ish, 40-ish, something like that. ES.
Yeah. Yeah, right in here, which is where I'd kind of expect us to stall unless the selling gets really aggressive. I'm kind of prepared for either direction today. If we can hold below the 69.70, then I think that goes down to my next gate, which would be around 69.23. If we can break that, then I think we have a very decent chance of a pretty nasty sell-off. Not planning for it, but or I'm not expecting it, but I do plan for anything just in case we can capitalize on that.
Right, and that level, by the way, for you SPX folks is 6,900. Again, there's confluence. 6,900 SPX. Okay.
I do think it's pretty straightforward day if you're willing to be patient. So
if you're willing to be patient, that's the big caveat. Be willing to be. Don't let lizard brain grab the mouse.
That's right.
A lot of us that are here kind of have the basics of trading mechanics and how to look at a chart and all that. Hopefully money management, but that seems to be something that some people lag in because it's not sexy. You know, it's kind of arithmetic and a little boring like grade school, but money management, whatever. But where people tend to fall short, myself included, is the emotional part, lizard brain, FOMO, or fear of loss, fear of getting, loss aversion, all that kind of stuff. And that's something that you have to be mindfully aware of as you trade. You have to, and that's why I like writing out my daily plan every day. I have my plan. Some of my subscribers write out their plan. They have their plan. I believe that helps immeasurably, but that's me. You know,
if you use TradingView, let me just kind of share my screen one more time.
Sure.
If you use TradingView, something that I personally do.
A quick question. Yeah, I was going to ask you that. So you actually do this, right? The machine doesn't do that. Or what do you do? They tell them you're
No, so I'm plotting something my machine plots.
Okay, go ahead.
I have an indicator that I built out. It helps me create some of these levels. I'm just not sharing the indicator here. I'm just making it simpler and easier to follow.
Okay.
By drawing them on these lines. What I would do is, for example, if let's say I want to short around 7,000. If we get up there, this is before we start trading. So then what I would do here is I'd put an arrow and then I'd go short, boom. And that just kind of reminds me in the middle of it, once I'm looking at it on a smaller scale, this is where we're planning to go short. Like, don't forget that about your plan, because sometimes when you're focusing on the smaller time frame, you kind of forget what your mind was telling you 20 minutes ago, right? This is kind of what I teach my students. There's a drunk mind and then there's a sober mind. The moment you start, the bell rings, your mind tends to intoxicate itself and kind of get lost in the sauce. Don't forget your plan, because when you're sober, when you're thinking clearly, you're gonna make better decisions. So kind of use this as a little reminder. Hey, I was looking to short up. If we get up here, don't forget. Hey, I was looking to long when we get down here. Don't forget. That's kind of what I do.
As a retired psychologist, I'm going to say that those metaphors aren't far from reality. I wouldn't know if I would use drunk exactly, but you're flooded with dopamine. You're flooded with different neurotransmitters, and that's going to affect your judgment. It just will. So there's this chemical soup going on in your brain that is part of the game. It just is. I haven't done a trading psychology module in a while. Maybe we'll get that on board somewhere. And we have some training courses coming up. You want to tell them about that? And you'll tell them some, and I'll tell them some.
Yeah. So
it's warm in here.
As you know, guys, I have my price action boot camp. You get my indicator. You get 2 weeks one-on-one with me. We break down everything that I know and how to execute with homework, exercises, all that good stuff. We are creating a kind of meshed program. Doc's going to go over his stuff, how you read the options depth chart, how he reads it, how he sets it up, how he's setting up for flies and that kind of thing. We're incorporating my price action with that to kind of give you a full rounded system to your trading.
Okay. And it's almost 9 o'clock, and I think we're done. So right now we're back to flat, whatever that was. I don't know. And maybe it was just some kind of rebalancing, a big institution doing something. The what it was becomes increasingly less important as price recovers from it. It was some algo that did something, I don't know, Bank of Japan, who knows. But still want to keep in the back of my mind in case I find out later. In case it's something I find out later.
Last
price is going to tell us. Price is going to tell us.
Absolutely. The last note I had for you guys is if we don't cross 7,000, call it 7,005 ES, don't look for longs. That's I'm pretty confident in that. If we cross it, that doesn't mean look for longs, but if we don't cross it, that absolutely means don't look for longs in my system.
You mean I shouldn't look for bargains?
That's right. Not today.
I want to buy on the discount rack. No, I can't look for the set. I can't go to TJ Maxx and like pick up a cheap ES on the discount rack.
You always end up buying a cheap ES at that point, for sure.
Okay. So what? So I just pulled up an ES chart. So what was the line that you said that you want to see?
If we break 7,005, I think upside is a little bit more in the cards than if we don't. I mean, it sounds straightforward, but if we don't break that 7,005, we might come close to it. But if we don't break above that, my system is telling me downside.
Okay.
Cheap downside too.
Okay. Very good. Let's see if there's any questions here. Questions, comments, concerns, criticism, what you'd like to see more of. Okay, let's see. All right. Green day today or red day today? How many people, if you think it's going to be green, type green in the chat on Twitter or here on wherever on YouTube. Green day today? Let me see. Do we have any greens coming up? Red day today? Any red days? Type green or red. Or you could be clever and you could say it's conditional. I trade what I see. I don't have a bias. You could hedge the answer and sound wise at the same time.
That's right.
Okay, we got a red. We got a couple of reds. Okay, we got some reds. We got a green. Yay for the greens. 2 green and 2 red. 2 green and 2 red. 2 green.
Now we know who our Patriots are.
The folks on Twitter aren't answering because they know it'll be there on Twitter and they don't want somebody to come back later and say, what kind of putts are these? 2 red, 1's green. On YouTube, there's less like intraday traffic afterwards, so people aren't gonna. Okay, anyway, so yeah, that's it. Are the subscribe links and all that somewhere in the something?
They're all in the YouTube description.
Yep. And they're all in the YouTube description. And in Twitter, they should all be in my link tree. I think I have a link tree now, whatever that means. And no, I set it up. I spent like hours figuring out what that is. And so it should all be in the link tree, all the links and all that. And somebody check and make sure that it's there.
And when in doubt, guys, you can always go to docsoptionsgelt.com.
That's right. There you go. Go to the website. Oh, the website. Let's show off the website one last time. That'd be a good thing to close with. I have to figure out how to find it though. So give me a second. I'm not so good with the computers. Is this my website? Yeah, there it is. Yay, me. Found it. And here's the website, home. What happens when you hit Discord? Okay. Tells you about our Discord training room. And all the stuff we talked about here and more goes on in the, the live trading room. I screen share, I talk a lot. Also putting in trades, model out trades to kind of talk about how one might think about it. Another important thing that I don't mention enough is the intraday trade alerts. Well, I don't mean my trades or somebody else's trade. Intraday trades, when a large institutional trade comes in and sells an iron condor during the day, or buys 1,000 contracts, 10 points out of the money on the call side or on the put side, or closes out a big position. Things shift. That changes how we're going to trade, and you have to adopt real time. We talk about it. I'll do updates, sometimes written, a lot of times just verbal, because stuff moves fast. And that's something else that I don't really, there's not many other places that do it. That's why I started doing it, because basically a lot of what I started doing because I needed it and nobody else did it. I have figured out how to do it, and okay, here we are. So anyway, that's basically that. So there's a website. Trade safe, everybody, and I'll be on Twitter and Substack and Discord and whatever, putting stuff out and trying to make some money and trying to help you make some money. And isn't it blue? Oh yeah, Blue Day. Let's see. No. It's a red day. Blue states, red states. Okay, you're welcome, Gabriel. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.